4 seasons in charge of Everton, and it all comes down to this. We're in the semi-final of the FA Cup, the semi-final of the Champions League. Can we finally win our first piece of silverware in today's career mode finale? But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, board expectations were sky high at the beginning of the season, expecting us not only to win the Premier League, win the FA Cup, but also reach the final of the Champions League as well. However, with this squad struggling to balance itself across all the competitions, I've had to make some executive decisions as to which competitions we're going to have to prioritise. Now, it must be said, we've absolutely thrown away the Premier League. At one point, we were top of the table, but we're now 21 points behind Manchester City with just 5 games remaining. But with us facing off against our arch-rivals Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final, and with us being drawn in a colossal tie against Italian giants Juventus in the semi-final of the Champions League, I am so confident that finally Everton Football Club may well be able to win a trophy in this career mode. If we're going to do it though, we're going to be relying on some of our bigger players, no more so than the leader of men, Jordan Pickford, England's #1, my highest rated player at 89. He's had some ups and downs across the course of this career mode, with several of you insisting that I should sell him, but this season in particular, he's been absolutely sensational between the sticks. He's held things together for me. He's kept 13 clean sheets across all the competitions, and without him, for sure, I would not be in the semi-finals of 2 cup competitions at this point in the season. Emile Smith-Rowe has come in and hit the ground running since joining in the summer. 35 appearances and 11 goals and 12 assists to his name. He has been, no doubt, the best outfield player across this entire season. And whilst Brian Brobby struggled at the beginning part of the season, being displaced by this man, Yusufa Moukoko, in the starting 11, he has rallied and he's performed miracles, scoring 19 goals in 43 appearances, and I'm hoping he can continue this fine form in the second half of the season to lead us to glory. If he's going to do it though, he's going to have to do so against our arch rivals at Wembley in what is our biggest domestic game of this entire career mode. Liverpool versus Everton several times across the last 4 seasons has been 50-50, but now is our moment to step up when we need to and finally see if we can put the demons of the Liverpool Giants to bed and try and see if we can get ourselves through to the FA Cup final. In a game that's fairly evenly poised, I have returned to a more balanced starting 11. Pickford, of course, starts in goal. Teresiano, Gay, Branthwaite and Hatto at the back. Onana, Damsgaard and O'Reilly in the centre, with Emile Smith-Rowe on the left, Bakayoko on the right, and Brian Brobby starting up front. Well, this is going to be a huge ask. We fell at this stage last season, going into the game as clear favourites against Crystal Palace. We will, however, potentially go into this game as the underdogs against the bigger team from Liverpool. Can we try and see if we can perform better than we did last season and somehow miraculously get ourselves into the FA Cup final for the first time in this Everton career mode? Teresiano now has it though, the right back bursting down the left hand side, and he's managed to get the better of Pedro Porro here, and he's continuing all the way in, looking for the cutback into Emile Smith-Rowe, who on the volley almost got there. O'Reilly tries to nod it down to him but doesn't manage to reach him, but Onana does manage to reach the ball into Teresiano. Bakayoko round the corner, going to try the cutback into Hatto, keeps the ball alive. Hatto into Brian Brobby, he tried to strike Konate though with a big challenge. He's back into Brobby again, into Onana, who strikes this time straight at Alisson. We're peppering the Liverpool goal, and fortunately enough for them, it just bounces off Emile Smith-Rowe and they manage to get away with one. Well, it's a ferocious start here inside the opening 15 minutes. We are all over the Liverpool defence, but we haven't been able to make it count. We've just got to make sure that that does not come back to bite us as this game progresses. But look at the press. It's absolutely relentless here. This is exactly the sort of start I was hoping for. Alisson has no choice but to absolutely hack it clear. And frustratingly though, Evan Ferguson wins it back well. But Branthwaite with a brilliant challenge releases Emile Smith-Rowe. He plays it into Brian Brobby. Can he try and go around the corner into Damsgaard? Yes, he can. Damsgaard with a wonderful opportunity to put us 1-0 up here. And Damsgaard takes it with aplomb. And within the opening 20 minutes, Everton Football Club take a deserved lead against their arch-rivals Liverpool. We've absolutely battered the Liverpool goal here in the opening 20 minutes, and finally we have our reward. Damsgaard played in with a deft touch from Brian Brobby, and it was a fine finish that gave Alisson no chance, 1-0. Well, last season we bottled it, but it cannot be said the same thing this time though. Inside the opening 20 minutes as Brian Brobby almost managed to wriggle away from the challenge of Konate here. The press is absolutely relentless. We've just got to make sure that we keep our composure and our stamina, and we don't peak too soon. Going to be Teresiano with the throw. Well, so far we are just over 30 minutes into this game, and Liverpool have not been able to fashion any sort of opportunity whatsoever, and Gay has done a wonderful job of bringing that one out of defence. Feeds it into Onana. Onana into Brian Brobby, was looking for the run, but Bakayoko just straight offside. Teresiano's going to float it into the back post. Pedro Porro with a big head, only out as far as Onana. O'Reilly keeps it once again and manages to dance his way around the challenge, and Onana still has it, this time into the goal scorer Damsgaard, shifts it onto his left to strike this time. Alisson is equal to it, and it goes out for an Everton corner. And it's one that Emile Smith-Rowe is going to take mistake. It's the usual tried and trusted tactic of throwing it into the box, looking for the big man Brian Brobby. Doesn't manage to get a clean strike on it though, and it's headed clear again from Liverpool. Teresiano, he's under all sorts of pressure here from the Liverpool press, but he has managed to wriggle away from it, and now Mark Gay will play it into the path of Onana, around the corner into Matt O'Reilly, into Damsgaard. Lovely stuff here. Mill Smith Rowe around the corner into Hatto. Hatto's clean through here. Hatto to strike straight at the goalkeeper, and in the end Allison just about mops up the second challenge. Well, we absolutely battered Liverpool in the opening 45 minutes, but frustratingly for us, we've only got one goal to show for it, and we've got to make sure we keep our professionalism, we keep our composure, and hopefully we double our lead here in the second 45. Hatto, under a bit of pressure from Nico Gonzalez, manages to wriggle away from him though and plays a nice ball into Onana, who manages to go round the corner, tries to go past Harvey Elliott, but in the end the Englishman wins it back well and now manages to push on ahead into Nico Gonzalez, who plays it down the right hand side into the former Spurs man Pedro Porro. He's got the pace to get away from Emil Smith Rowe. Is he going to try and see if he can find a ball into the box here? Pedro Porro just held up but manages to win a corner, and it's a corner that Szoboszlai looks like he's going to take. Is he going to go short? Yes, he does go short into that man Harvey Elliott, who throws it into the box to Gakpo, and it's cleared off the line by Teresiano. Well, my word, we just got away with that one, but Gakpo keeps it alive for Liverpool. Branthwaite tried to put the challenge in, doesn't do a good enough job, eventually does manage just to wriggle it back from him, and in the end the Englishman with some brilliant defending in our penalty area. That could have gone any way whatsoever. Unfortunately enough, we bring it away and we breathe a sigh of relief here as Emil Smith Rowe is going to try and play this one into Onana, and Onana the Belgian to drive into the box, and Onana slots it into the bottom right hand corner, and within a blink of an eye we've gone from defence to attack. We've turned the game around and we've doubled our lead here at Wembley. The Liverpool fans have their heads in their hands. Alisson looks down to the ground. A wonderful counter-attack, a lovely piece of interchanging passing between Onana and Emil Smith Rowe down the left hand side, and the unlikely goal scorer of the central defensive midfielder, our club captain Onana, drove into the box, slid it past Alisson, gave him no chance, and celebrates in front of the Evertonians. It's 2-0. Liverpool have got just about 25 minutes here to try and see if they can rescue some sort of result from this game, but at the moment it is not going according to plan as Onana manages to just wriggle past a couple of players, and he's really opened up this midfield, and Damsgaard plays a wonderful ball through looking for Emil Smith Rowe, but Pedro Porro just gets there ahead of him, and Alisson has to hack it clear. Maatson on as a substitute will take the throw and feeds it into Emil Smith Rowe, who cuts it back inside for the main man. Onana, and full of confidence, tried to line up a shot, but perhaps just had a little bit too much confidence than he needed to, and in the end ended up losing the ball. And now Liverpool streak clear, and it's the right back Pedro Porro who streaks into the penalty area and then blazes it over the bar. That is a strike of a right back, and he's got his head in his hands. He knows that was a golden opportunity to try and drag Liverpool back into this game, and he's totally wasted it. Well, it just goes to show that this game is not done. Even though we have a 2-goal lead, anything can happen here in the final 10 minutes as O'Reilly plays it into the substitute Jan Couto. He's through here. He's going to play it across into Emil Smith Rowe, who smashes it against Alisson, but also smashes it straight into the back of the net, and Liverpool are down 3-0 here to Everton. The miracle has happened. We have absolutely smashed our arch rivals here at Wembley, and we are going to go sailing through to the FA Cup final. Emil Smith Rowe was on hand after a lovely unselfish pass across the box from Jan Couto, and it's no more than the Englishman deserved. He's been absolutely sensational all season, and today Everton, much to Jurgen Klopp's disgust, lead 3-0. Nico Gonzalez into Canate, who turned around the challenge of Emil Smith Rowe really nicely and releases Harvey Elliott into Nico Gonzalez, down the channel into Cody Gakpo, and now he's got the pace to try and go one-on-one with Mark Gay, but the Englishman defended resolutely, just like the rest of my backline have all through today, and he won the ball back in a pivotal moment, but Cody Gakpo has won it again, but Mark Gay is absolutely relentless at the back as the referee blows for full time. Well, I shake the hand of Jurgen Klopp, and I go and salute the travelling Evertonians. We have done it for the first time in this entire career mode. Everton Football Club have got to the FA Cup final, and we've done it by absolutely smashing our arch rivals Liverpool in the semi-final. Full time here at Wembley, it finishes Everton 3, Liverpool 0, and with Sunderland beating Leeds United 4-2 in the other game, it means that we go into the final as the heavy favourites going up against a team that are in the Championship. Surely this is our best opportunity that we've ever had to finally win a piece of silverware. And after managing to draw to Barcelona 1-1 in the second leg of the quarter-finals and beating them 4-2 on aggregate, we turn our attention to the semi-final of the Champions League, where we are going to be facing off against Juventus. As is always the case, we're going to sim the first leg, and as you can see, it did not go our way. Despite a late goal from Damsgaard, we succumbed to a 2-1 loss in Italy. And it means we've got it all to do at Goodison Park in the second leg. But this is our moment. It's our chance to finally do something that Everton Football Club, both in this career mode and in real life, have never been able to do before. And that is to reach the Champions League final. But as luck would have it, as we are about to embark on the biggest game in the club's history, fatigue has ripped through my squad, and that is why I've had to make several enforced changes to my starting 11. Pickford keeps his place in goal. Teresiano starts at right back, but Lacroix comes in at centre back in place of Mark Gay. He's partnered by Jared Branthwaite and Hato on the left. Onana, O'Reilly and Alex Scott start in midfield, but of course the big change is Jota on the left, Jan Kuto on the right and Mukoku to lead the line up front. So here we go then, one game to change the course of history at Everton Football Club. Can we do the unthinkable and something that no Evertonian could have ever dreamt of when I first took over here at Everton Football Club? And that is to reach the final of the Champions League as Alex Scott wins the ball back high up the field here. He doesn't have any options as no one's making any runs for him. Can he try and find a ball out wide? He tried to. Locatelli blocked it though. Jota picks up the scraps and Jota turns and tries to just bend it round Szczesny. But in the end, the goalkeeper just about got a hand to it. And that is a brilliant start here, though, from Everton Football Club. Inside the opening 10 minutes, Jota is going to try and throw this one into the box. Looking for the head of Mukoku. It's headed away, though, by Larson. Only out as far as Jan Kuto. Fire it back up to Jota. He's going to get a second opportunity to throw it back in. This time looking for O'Reilly. Vlasovic just managed to head it clear. And Branthwaite now back out to Hato. My word, we are peppering this Juventus goal here inside the opening few minutes as Alex Scott just got blocked off. Scalvini brings it clear. Vlahovic now for Juventus. Blocked off, though, by Lacroix. Really good defending from the Frenchman. And now Jota has it on the left-hand side. Cuts in field. Looks for the pass of Alex Scott. Finds Jan Kuto. Jan Kuto now into Mukoku. Mukoku tried to shape up for a shot. Couldn't quite find the angle. Instead plays it out to the right back. Teresiano. O'Reilly. Onana has the chance. And in the end just drags it wide. It's Alex Scott yet again. It's been all Everton so far in this opening 20 minutes as Jan Kuto feeds a lovely ball into Hato. He cuts it back across looking for Mukoku. Just got the shot wrong and drifted it high and wide in the end. Nemecha on the left hand side to go one-on-one with Jan Kuto and threads a lovely ball through looking for Milic. But look at the pace of Lacroix. That is exactly the sort of reason why I decided to bring him to the football club in the first place. Coming in at exactly the right time and performing defensive miracles just like that one. And now Matt O'Reilly's going to feed a ball back out to another defensive player in Teresiano, who bursts down the right side, looks to cut it back into the back post, looking for Mukoku on the head, and it's off the bar. It beat the goalkeeper, but it didn't manage to beat the goal. But Hato keeps it alive. It's into Jota, shifts it onto his right, tries to strike it, falls for Jan Kuto. Yet again, Bremer just gets his body in the way, and Juventus somehow get the ball clear, and it remains 0-0. Hato into Onana. Onana now into Riley. Riley goes short into Jan Kuto, just trying to find some sort of opening. Everything is so narrow here, and Mukoku is going to bring this one out to the right-hand side. Sorry, the left-hand side into Hato, but Alex Scott still keeps the ball alive. Into Matt O'Reilly. We're just looking for the right moment. O'Reilly into Teresiano, tries to float it in, looking for the head of Jota. Couldn't quite find him. Onana will win the loose ball, though. Into Mukoku on his chest. Tries to bundle his way through, and Juventus just hack it clear yet again. Well, my word, it's just been all Everton here inside the opening 45 minutes. We've peppered this Juventus goal, but we can't seem to break it down as Jan Kuto now on his left drags it wide. Well, the frustrations and the nerves are beginning to mount here at Goodison Park. We've absolutely battered and knocked on the door of this Juventus defence, but we just have not been able to knock it down in the first 45 minutes. Can we continue in the same vein here in the second 45, carve out some chances and see if we can finally break down that door? But with passes like that in the final third, we are going to get nowhere close. Scalvini for Juve, pass it central into Locatelli. He's going to try and bring it out of defence, but Matt O'Reilly wins the ball back really nicely, and now Jota can try and play it down this left-hand side, cuts it back in for Alex Scott round the corner into Jan Kuto to strike. What a save from Szczesny yet again. There can be no doubt the Polish goalkeeper is keeping Juve in this tie somehow, some way. It's thrown into the box over the head of Onana, falls out to Alex Scott, throws it back to Matt O'Reilly. Instead of throwing it back in, I'm going to give it to Jota, who gives it to Mukoku, who tries to put it onto his right and strike. And this time, the young German does manage to find a way past Szczesny and does manage to lift us back on level terms on aggregate. Here it's 2-2. The Everton fans go absolutely wild. It is nothing short of what we deserve. Instead of throwing it back into the box, we tried to build it sensibly, and Mukoku with a lovely turn. He's been pretty quiet all game, it must be said, but when it counted, he stepped up. Wonderful finish, 1-0, 2-2 on aggregate. Milik for Juve now. Are they going to try and see if they can somehow spark themselves back into life and find a way back into this tie? As at the moment, They are all over the place, and it's been all Everton so far. But Milik wins it back, tries to go past O'Reilly, does go past O'Reilly, doesn't manage to get past Jared Brantwaite though. Now Alex Scott can try and see if he can fashion some sort of opportunity. O'Reilly has it again, this time plays it into the path of Teresiano, and the right back bursting forward, looks to cut it back, does manage to cut it back to Yankuto, who manages to find Jota, who tries to shift it onto his left. He's just bundled out. Has he managed to keep hold of the ball? No, Zaniolo just about wins it back, and now Juve can clear their lines. Vlahovic short into Larson, O'Reilly with another big challenge, and now Mukoku just waiting for the run of Jota, manages to find the run of Jota, and the Portuguese tried to thread it back through to him. It's a wonderful ball. Can Mukoku get on the end of it? No, he can't, but it will go out for an Everton corner here, and yet again we've got another opportunity with 15 minutes on the clock. O'Reilly this time is going to be the man to throw it in, looking for the head of Onana, and the Belgian just about couldn't get there, and again it is cleared away by Everton. Alex Scott has it once again, absolutely battering this Juventus door. It cuts back to Alex Scott, he goes into Jota on his left, tries to strike, blocked though this time by the Juventus defence. It's Milik now for Juventus though, plays it short into the path of Vlahovic. Is this going to be the opportunity deep into the last 10 minutes of this game for Juventus to finally carve out and to finally break this Everton defence and Evertonian travelling hearts? It's Larson though who has it, tries to wriggle away from Jared Brantwaite. He does a really good job of winning the ball back, and now Onana feeds it into Alex Scott. Alex Scott's going to look for the run of Mukoku. Can we try and see if we can hit them on the counter-attack? Mukoku tried to play it down, looking for Jota. Matt O'Reilly just couldn't play the pass. Good defending from Locatelli. End-to-end stuff here in the final 10 minutes. Ravella now has it, being chased down by Onana, who can't win the ball back. Schuler now has it, looking for an option, finds only the option of Hato. It's now into O'Reilly. O'Reilly into Alex Scott as the referee blows for full time. Well, as the 90 minutes are up, it finishes here 1-0 to Everton, but 2-2 on aggregate, and it means we are going into extra time. Nemecha, he's been chased down by Bakayoko on as a substitute, one of numerous substitutes I have made right on the stroke of this new half, as Alex Scott tries to play it into one of those substitutes, into Brian Brobby, who strikes, and my word, with his first shot of the game inside the opening 3 minutes of stoppage time, he has come on and had an immediate impact. Mukoku was on his last legs, so I turned to the main man, Brian Brobby, and look at that, one touch out of his feet and absolutely smashed it into the bottom left-hand corner. Chesley had no chance, and we've turned the game on its head. 2-0, 3-2 on aggregate. Galvini with the short free kick into Locatelli. Now the onus is all on Juventus. They've come absolutely nowhere near my goal in this entire full 90 minutes and first half of extra time. They've got about 15-20 minutes to try and see if they can resurrect their Champions League fortunes, because otherwise we are about to dump them out of the Champions League semi-final. As we almost played a ball through into Brian Brobby, but it was well intercepted by the last man of the Juventus defence, and now they're just wriggling away, trying to find some sort of option. Nemecha back into Scalvini. Scalvini being chased down by Bakayoko. The Everton press deep late on in this game is absolutely relentless. Nothing but passion and determination as the referee blows for half-time. 15 minutes, that is all we need to hold on for what will be a memorable and historic day here at Goodison Park. Teresiano plays it into Matt O'Reilly. It is just a matter of keep ball now to try and see if we can see this game out. Lacroix brings it through defence into James Garner. James Garner now into Emil Smith-Rowe. Tried to shift it onto his right to strike, but in the end it was a good block from Bremer. But eventually though, we managed to block and we keep hold of the ball. Brantwaite being pressured, but Lacroix still has it into Bakayoko, who plays into Alex Scott. Can Alex Scott tried to find the ball through, but Bremer, who has been an absolute wall at the back for Juve, wins it back, and now they've got an opportunity to try and break. Vlahovic though is blocked off by Jared Brantwaite. That man, along with Lacroix, have been absolutely sensational on the back for me all game. Jordan Pickford throws it out to Teresiano, who takes it down on his chest. He keeps hold of it, does the Italian. Plays it back to Jordan Pickford. Anywhere will do at the moment. I'm just going to hack this one clear. Looking for the big man, Brian Brobby, who doesn't manage to win the ball. And Juventus now have one last opportunity to try and bring this one into my half. But they do not, because the referee blows for full time. I cannot believe it. The players cannot believe it. It has finally happened. From despair in previous seasons in the Champions League to absolute euphoria here at Goodison Park. Everton Football Club, can you believe it, are into the Champions League final. We've beaten Juventus 3-2 on aggregate after extra time, and we will face off against the French giants PSG in what will be a monumental Champions League final. Brian Brobby was the hero of the hour, scoring the winner that took us through to that monumental game against PSG. He's been absolutely sensational since joining just a couple of transfer windows ago, and I've just got to hope, with two big games still left to play, one in the final of the FA Cup against Sunderland Sunderland, and the other in the final of the Champions League against PSG, that he can continue this fine form and hopefully lead this great football club to glory. And with us finally finishing our Premier League campaign outside of the Champions League spot, 5th place, and in the end about 18 points behind league leaders Manchester City. And for some reason, with my status with the board being at an all-time low, it piles on the pressure in what will be my final 2 games as manager of Everton Football Club. But the first one is going to be at Wembley, and it's going to be our first opportunity for a piece of domestic cup silverware, as we are going to be facing off against the championship team Sunderland in a game we go into as heavy favourites. And finally, surely this is the moment Everton Football Club are going to be crowned FA Cup champions for the first time since 1995. And because it is a game that we are so heavily favoured for, I have returned to my more attack-minded 3-5-2 formation. Pickford in goal, Lacroix, Gay and Branthwaite at the back, Onana, O'Reilly and Damsgaard in the centre with Emil Smith-Rowe on the left, Bakayoko on the right, and of course Brian Brobby and Moukoko up front. Emil Smith-Rowe to pick it up on the left-hand side, being hassled and harassed, and manages to find a nice ball into Brian Brobby, and he finds Moukoko shifting away from a couple of challenges, and the German still keeps hold of the ball and still looking for some sort of option, drags it onto his right, goes to strike from distance, gets a corner in the opening 5 minutes. Emil Smith-Rowe, of course, will be the man to take the corner and will be the man to float it in, looking for the head of that man, Moukoko. Doesn't manage to get on the end of it though. Damsgaard will, plays it back out to Emil Smith-Rowe. He's going to fire it in, looking for the back post of Bakayoko on the head. It's Patterson with a big head, and in the end, it's just about cleared away. The goalkeeper did a wonderful job, and in the end, Brian Brobby couldn't get on the loose ball, but O'Reilly will, and O'Reilly will now bring this through into Bakayoko on the right-hand side. He's looking for the option of Emil Smith-Rowe manages to find Emil Smith-Rowe in the end, and he now looks for Damsgaard, tries to shift it onto his left, and he does shift it onto his left, and in the end drags it wide. It's Mark Gay into Jared Branthwaite. Branthwaite short into Onana, got a little bit into trouble there, but manages to use his skill and his power to get away from the Sunderland challenge into Moukoko. Moukoko into the back of the net, and inside the opening 20 minutes, Everton Football Club take a deserved lead. Once again, we build out from the back, and it's the captain Onana who gives it to Damsgaard, who lays it on a plate for Moukoko, who with his left foot just had to use that acumen, that brilliant striking instinct, just to drag it past the goalkeeper into the bottom right-hand corner to give us a 1-0 lead here at Wembley. Dembele tried to go down the line. Branthwaite won it well though, and it's been all Everton here inside the opening half an hour as Emil Smith-Rowe picks it up on the left-hand side, does the dance round the defender, plays it into Moukoko on his left, looks for the cut back into Brian Brobby, doesn't manage to find him. Damsgaard will find O'Reilly, who ends up losing the ball in a really dangerous position, and now Sunderland can try and see if they can hit us on the counter-attack, but they just don't have that forward thrust, and Mark Gay wins the ball back into Damsgaard, who can't find the ball round the corner into Moukoko, and Sunderland get it clear once again. Jared Branthwaite right the way across into an unmarked Lacroix down the right hand side, finds Bakayoko. Bakayoko infield to Brian Brobby, who takes it on really nicely. Brian Brobby continues, goes central, looks for Emil Smith-Rowe, shifts it onto his left, looking to try and put it onto his right, but can't get away from Dembele, and now Sunderland can try and hit us on the counter, but Mark Gay pressing so high, winning the ball back. It's Brian Brobby, lays it on a plate for a strike partner, Moukoko, who absolutely leathers it into the back of the net to double our lead here inside the opening 40 minutes. We'll look at the celebrations between himself and the rest of the Evertonians. The Sunderland fans look on in despair, as does the goalkeeper. It's just the relentless Everton pressure. We won the ball back high thanks to Mark Gay and Brian Brobby. Laid it on a plate for Moukoko. That is the benefit for having 2 world-class strikers on your books up front. And Moukoko, back in form, smashed it into the left-hand side of the goal, gave the keeper no chance. 2-0. And we've got a free kick here in a very dangerous position. About 5 minutes to go before the end of the first half, and O'Reilly's going to try and dink this one in, looking for the head of Branthwaite, and Branthwaite, the centre-back, gets in on the act here. It's 3-0 inside the opening 42 minutes, and this game is turning into an absolute rout. Well, Sunderland have fallen to utter pieces. A lovely little dink ball in from Matt O'Reilly, and Jared Branthwaite rose highest, straight down the pipe. Could the keeper have done better? It could be argued he could have, but that man won't care one bit, as will the Evertonians. It's 3-0. Well, here we go then, the start of the second half, and we are just 45 minutes away from our first piece of silverware. Surely we have it in the bag. Surely we're not going to bottle it this time, but Dembele perhaps has other ideas as he bursts down the right-hand side, plays it in field to Mayenda, who plays it in central to Ketcher, and just like that, Sunderland are back in the game. Well, I was talking about not bottling it, and just as I say that, inside the opening 5 minutes, we have fallen asleep, and we are undone by some wonderful play from Sunderland. The crowd go wild, and rightly so. They've found a route back into this game. We just fell asleep at the back, and they managed to open up my defence, and it was just dragged past Jordan Pickford, who will be frustrated not to keep his clean sheet. Into the feet of Bakayoko, who's being hassled though, but manages to just wriggle away from the challenge, and look at the space he's got to run into here. He's gone past two players, burst into the box here. Can he keep his run going? He can. This is unbelievable. That is an absolutely world-class goal from Johan Bakayoko. It is absolutely ridiculous. On the biggest stage of them all, he has gone past 4 Sunderland players. He's made an absolute mockery of their defence. That is a Lionel Messi type goal. Look at this, driving into the box, just managed to just wriggle away from 4 challenges, and in the end on his weaker foot just slid it past the goalkeeper. It is a thing of absolute beauty, and Sunderland, having worked so hard to get themselves back into this game, have thrown it away. We've restored our 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. Mayenda now for Sunderland. They've got absolutely no one forward though. Have their heads dropped here? Have they sensed that this is just too much of a mountain to climb? But Mayenda tries to go past Matt O'Reilly. He's back defending, and now Onana out to Milsmith Rowe. Is this our opportunity to try and counter-attack and well and truly put this game to bed? But it's a good challenge though in the heart of the midfield. And now Burnett has it on the right-hand side. Plays it out to Pembele, the architect of their first goal. But this time he's beaten to it by Onana. And now Damsgaard can bring it clear, and he's got a wonderful pass here into Milsmith Rowe. First time ball into Mukoku. Mukoku now to try and stretch his legs. Plays it back into the path of Milsmith Rowe. Can he find the cutback? No, he can't, because he's offside. Margay down the line into the substitute Jota, and Jota is looking for options. Can he try and find a ball? That is a sensational ball out wide to his Brazilian friend Jan Couto on the right hand side. Doesn't have any options in field though, so checks back and finds Brian Brobby, who tries to shift it onto his left, finds Onana, who goes back out to Jota on the left hand side, who just manages to skip past the challenge, plays it into Dele Alli on as a sub, and Dele Alli fires it against the defender, and in the end it's just beaten away. But it does not matter one bit, because the Evertonians have been sent into absolute raptures. The players run on the field. Can you believe it? Finally, after 4 seasons of asking, Everton Football Club have won their first piece of silverware in this career mode, and my word, what a piece of silverware to win. The first time since 1995, all the Everton players will finally make the walk up to the coveted trophy. Who else would it be but my club captain, leader of men, Onana, to step up and lift the FA Cup for the first time in his career, for the first time in the careers of pretty much all of these Everton players. It is a sensational day to be an Everton fan, and that is hopefully the first of 2 trophies we're going to win this season. Everton Football Club, winners of the FA Cup, and my word, that feels good to say. An incredible performance from all the players involved. The morale is at an all-time high, and the players are filled with confidence as we head into the biggest game in the club's history. That is right, it is time for the Champions League final. Everton Football Club against PSG. A monumental moment in the lifetime of these young players, and a monumental moment in front of all the travelling Evertonians. Can we do something that no Evertonian could have ever dreamed of? And that is win the Champions League final. Obviously, a game that we go into being heavy underdogs means a return to my more balanced 4-3-3, and Jordan Pickford starts in goal, Teresiano Gay, Branthwaite Hatter at the back, and Anna Damsgaard and O'Reilly, with Bakayoko on the right, Emil Smith-Rowe on the left, and Brian Brobby to lead the line in the Champions League. So here we go then, 90 minutes to change the course of history for Everton Football Club. And this is the moment here at the Bernabeu in Madrid to put our name into the history books and hopefully secure what will be a historic Champions League victory. Here we go then, not too much action here inside the opening 10 minutes. Both teams starting a little nervy here, which is understandable under the lights in this big occasion, as Frankie de Jong tries to go past Damsgaard, but he wins the ball back really nicely, and Bakayoko tries to feed it into Brian Brobby. Wasn't the best pass though, and Skriniar though is blocked off by Damsgaard. He has started on fire, and now he has an opportunity to try and play it into Brian Brobby. Not the ball I wanted, and O'Reilly tries to strike, and this time Donnarumma is equal to it. We just got our wires crossed a little bit. The ball was into Brian Brobby. We didn't manage to find him, but we have managed to find ourselves a corner that Emil Smith-Rowe is going to take. He's going to float it in, looking for the big head of Hato. It's headed away, though, by Mbappe of all people. O'Reilly now has it yet again. Emil Smith-Rowe looks to cut it back into the path of that man, O'Reilly. Wriggling around, though, almost every man back for PSG, and in the end, we give the ball away. But Teresiano wins it back, and Emil Smith-Rowe is just straight offside. Lee Kang-in now for PSG to just go past Bakayoko. He tracks back, and Damsgaard again for the 3rd time in this game, intercepting the ball brilliantly. And then Mark Gay goes and gives it away, and Frankie de Jong now plays it into the path of Dembele, and Dembele has the pace to get away from my defenders, and he absolutely leathers a strike past Jordan Pickford on the edge of the box to give PSG an early lead here inside the opening 25 minutes. Well, it was Mark Gay who lost it in a dangerous position, and when you give it to that man Dembele, his pace just caught us out. Branthwaite couldn't get across quick enough, and Jordan Pickford just did stretch, but just couldn't stretch far enough. Dembele gives PSG a 1-0 lead. Well, not the start we would have wanted. After being the better team in the opening 20 minutes, we've gone and given away a really soft goal, and we've just got to make sure we keep our heads up here and try and find our way back into this game. Into Frenkie de Jong. He's got options ahead of him. Tries to find an option of Lee Kang-in, who manages to get past Marquet. Into Mbappe, who of course strikes, and this time Jordan Pickford saves. PSG so dangerous every time they bring the ball into our half here. They look like they're going to score. It's headed away though, only out as far as the midfield. And now Frenkie de Jong has it for PSG. Back into Lee Kang-in, and Pickford to our rescue yet again. Branthwaite tries to get there, doesn't manage to get there ahead of the pace of Mbappe. And now he's going to just try and manage to find his way past Branthwaite into Dembele, into Milinkovic-Savic, who just drags it wide. Marquet short into Damsgaard, who's been an influential figure so far, but he hasn't been able to carve out any decent opportunities. But he's been able to wriggle away from a couple of challenges and almost give the ball away. But O'Reilly wins it well, and now Onana has just managed to ghost into a little bit of space. Plays in Emile Smith-Rowe on his left, strikes, gets us back on level terms here, right on the stroke of half-time. A brilliant piece of play and a wonderful way to get it back to 1-1. A lovely touch and turn, and Emile Smith-Rowe, the man who's been on fire since joining in the summer, stepping up once again, this time in the Champions League final, the biggest game of the lot, and firing us back on level terms, 1-1. Lee Kang-in twisting, turning, trying to get away from Bakayoko, has managed to find Skriniar, gets it back from him. We are right on the eve of half-time here as the referee looks to his watch, but the PSG players continue to press forward here. Lee Kang-in manages to fall nicely. In the end, I think it was to Mbappe, who just tried to turn it round the corner of Pickford, and he managed to get his hand to it, and now they've got a corner here. We are very deep, long past the allotted time. It's thrown into the box, Lee Kang-in with the head, and surely PSG should not have even had that corner. We are long past the end of stoppage time, but the referee allowed game to play on. And frustratingly for me, after doing all the hard work of getting back into the game, we've thrown it all away. A lovely finish in the end with his head from Lee Kang-in right at the near post. It was thrown into the box, and he was just unmarked. Got ahead of Onana, I believe it was. Jordan Pickford had no chance. It was just looped over him. And frustratingly, PSG back in the lead, 2-1. Well, we've got it all to do here at the start of the second half. 2-1 down. We've got to get our heads up, and we've got to come from behind once again to turn this game on its head. Can we do it? Let's find out. Jordan Pickford floats it over to the right-hand side of Teresiano. Took it down with his thigh, really nicely done. Plays it into Matt O'Reilly, tries to go around the corner, but Lee Kang-in won it back, and we've given the ball away in a really dangerous position. Frenkie de Jong to go one-on-one with Marquet, manages to cut it back into the goal scorer Lee Kang-in. He's being chased down by Bakayoko, but throws it back in. Branthwaite manages to get a hit on it. Can Bakayoko? Yes, he can, but he doesn't go very far, and in the end, we just about keep the ball alive here. It's blown right across my penalty area, and we get away with one there. PSG just didn't have enough men in the box at the right time, and now Emile Smith-Rowe can try and play in Damsgaard here, and we're now 2-on-1. Can Damsgaard play a ball across? I was looking for the run of Brian Brobby, but Skriniar using all that experience just to put himself in the right position at the right time, and that is a huge opportunity that we've missed. Çalhanoğlu now though, into Mbappe, and he of course has the pace to get away from Marquet, into Dembele again, and Dembele this time drags it wide. Marquet to bring it out of defence. 66 minutes on the clock here. We've got to try and see if we can find a route back into this game, but so far no luck whatsoever. We haven't really been able to carve out any clear-cut opportunities, in this second half, as Lee Kang-in is going to try and see if he can cut one out here for PSG. He's managed just to go past Teresiano down this left-hand flank. Is he going to try and find a ball into the box? Yes, he is. He's thrown in. Looks for the header, Milinkovic-Savic, and in the end, Jordan Pickford once again equal to it. Well, we're 2-1 down with about 20 minutes left to go, and once again, desperate times call for desperate measures, and that means it is a return to this more attack-minded 3-5-2 formation. We're going for the double strike partnership as Moukoko comes on for Teresiano, as does Yan Couto on the right-hand side of midfield. But PSG are still the ones in the ascendancy as they have a short corner that they take and they give it to Mbappe. Now it's Yan Couto looking to make his first impression in this game. Luis Alberto on the edge of the box, strikes from distance and just sends it wide. Asensio for PSG, just 10 minutes remaining on the clock here, and they still have an opportunity, looking to try and see if they can add a third, but Mike O'Reilly just about managed to wriggle away from a challenge there and feed it into Yan Couto. Surely he's going to have the pace to get away from Andy Robertson. He does. Is he going to try and look for the back post here of the ball into Bakayoko? He does. But Bakayoko just couldn't reach it. Onana though, down into Brian Brobby on the volley. Just got the volley wrong. Can Yan Couto get there ahead of the defender? Yes, he can. Back to Brian Brobby, into Onana. He storms into the penalty area and just can't storm his way past the defence. And they get it clear once again. Milinkovic-Savic now, ball into the channel, into that man Mbappe, and of course linking up with the other danger man Dembele. This time Marquet escapade. He's in the right place at the right time. And now Bakayoko is going to surely try and release Mukoku now into the centre. But Mukoku's held up by Marquinhos. Brilliant defending yet again from PSG. They've been an absolute wall at the back. Just a couple of minutes left on this game. Can we somehow try and fashion an opportunity from nothing? But at the moment it's Dembele who's driving down this right hand side. Jared Brantwaite tries to come across. Does manage to come across. The referee looks at his watch. Bakayoko has it. And Bakayoko tried to play it forward, but the referee's having none of it. He blows the whistle for full time. It is game over here at the Bernabeu. PSG fans celebrate. The players run onto the pitch. Everton Football Club did absolutely everything they could, but we fall at the final hurdle. It's heartbreak for the travelling Evertonians, heartbreak for me and the rest of the players. We do not get the job done here in the Champions League. Frustratingly for me, the Champions League is just out of reach for Everton Football Club, and tonight is the night that belongs to PSG. It's going to be that man, their captain, their leader, Marquinhos, who's going to be the man to step up and lift the trophy. For the first time in the French Giants' history, they lift the Champions League trophy. We lose in the final 2-1, and that loss brings the curtain down on what has been a roller coaster of a managerial ride here at Everton Football Club. It might have been heartbreaking in the Champions League, but at least we have the consolation of our first FA Cup win since 1995. Everton fans will see this season as a positive, but as for me, it is time to move on to my next managerial journey. As that is that for the end of today's episode and the end of the entire Everton career mode. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.